So this is a drive to the Escarpment trail, and people have mentioned recreational passports. And although this is closed, I could just drive by and not worry about it. I like to support things like this, so I'm actually going to pay this fine or whatever, because this is how these are supported. So recreational passport is $17 for vehicles in Michigan license plates. Out of state for daily for 1 day pass, $10. That's it. So it's only $10. When there's nobody at the guard gate, you just fill out this envelope and put this in the car, and that's it. It's only $10. You can use cash, so it's pretty simple. So this is the trailhead. The parking lot is huge, and there's plenty of cars at 6:30 in the morning. The sun is already up, been up for a while. It's nice and cool that you could wear long sleeves to protect yourself from the bugs, which are not too bad at the trailhead, or you can go in short sleeves. So I am here at this Escarpment trail, so just wanted to show how I actually found the hike and some aspects of what I look for when I use the AllTrails app, which this is a really good app to have, so I just wanted to show how I use it. So I happen to be in Michigan, and so I want to check out some trails in Michigan, because I happen to be in Michigan. So I just used the AllTrails app and kind of looked around until I found some. This particular trail, Escarpment Trail, had really good reviews, which you can find on this app, and apparently is one of the most scenic trails in Michigan, next to Lake Superior. So I'm here at the trail right now. This is the trailhead. That's how you know. This is somebody else's route. So this is what somebody else walked. Okay, and that's just kind of like a rough suggestion. If you look around, you know, and zoom in on this AllTrails app after you've downloaded it, you know, you can see many different approaches. Here you can take a look at your grade. So this tells me you can just scroll and look at the numbers, and this tells me that about 4.5 miles in, there's a large descent, and immediately I have to go right back up that same hill. So I can look over here, and this is a topographic map. So the small lines mean steeper. The smaller the lines get, the steeper it gets. So like this right here, this right here looks almost like a cliff. So you're kind of basically walking on the cliff's edge here. It's probably not a cliff, but it's a very steep hill. So you keep walking, and you can see here that there is a descent. A small descent. See, it's not very steep because the lines are wide, and then you keep walking through another mountain peak, and then for some reason this person they went down to this road. So they just went down this hill, which is a little steep here, and went down to this road. So that tells me that this big descent right down here is probably somewhere around here, because I have to go right back up this hill, because that's what he did. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stop here, because there's no point. There's just a road down there, and save myself for this whole thing of effort. So this is how this app is helpful. Instead, I'm going to go exploring around the lake. So there's a whole easy access to the lake. I just go down this particular trail here, right there, and then I can explore 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 areas for cheap effort. You know, I can even go up this next hill and explore up there all the way up to Mirror Lake and then walk back. So this distance right here is 8.4 miles. So this whole distance is 8.4 miles. So there's another probably 8 miles here, 7 or 6 miles right there, if the map is correct. So that's what I'll do. So I just so there's a camping spot here that you can see. There's even a cabin here. Michigan is really really organized. There's a huge trail. So this particular trail, Escarpment Trail, has a huge trailhead. It's apparently a very popular trail. So we'll see. So you need a permit for backcountry camping. Pets are allowed. Oh, I want to show this sign. Let's say they say you're not sure if you can carry a weapon in an area like this. My recommendation is carry a weapon in an area like this because you are responsible for your own safety. It's that simple. Unprepared or foolish. This is there for a reason. It looks stupid, but why the hell not? It's like literally, they ask you for a second of your time to do something. I've seen invasive species kill whole forests in Colorado. Literally kill whole forests. It was horrendous to look at. They were all dead. So I would definitely recommend doing that. But I see that in very few trailheads. This is like the first one in a long time. So this whole area is very touristy, but then I probably doubt most tourists do walk the whole track. But this is a very beginner hike as well. So northern Michigan is really good of very good beginner hikes because they are so well maintained that you're not going to get lost and die. So even though this says that this is wilderness, it's not really wilderness, although there might be bears. So this is the start of the hike. Michigan is so safe. It's a nice wall, but they really know how to take nature out of nature. Very few places I go actually have walls like this. But it's a nice view. So this is where I am right now, the Lake of the Clouds Scenic Overlook. So it's a very touristy area, but I'm hoping that it gets much less touristy as we go get away from here. This is another extremely well-maintained trail to the point of not even feeling like a hike. I don't know what's with Michigan and these amazing high fashion trails, but for a beginner this is gold. If you are uncertain about venturing out and checking out hiking, Michigan is like a great place to start because they have highways through the forest. It's really weird, and they go for a long way too. So I think the app, an AllTrails app, I look at the reviews and this is very nice, but I think when it has a lot of reviews means a lot of people are not afraid to do it because it's so well maintained and not really wilderness at all. Because this is my first time in Michigan and I'm going down the stairs in a wilderness area, which is super weird to me. But again, this is for beginners. So if I was a beginner, this is where I would come, because I got lost and almost died a couple of times doing this. So this is a good, do I even like this trail? This looks like to be a campsite not far from the trailhead. Really nice one. So far, Michigan has the best set up campsites in quote unquote wilderness I've ever seen. It's really nice. So earlier I tried to estimate the distance to Mirror Lake and I thought it was 6 miles, but it's only 3.5 miles, which might be worth the effort since I'm already here. So it's a hilly up and down foresty terrain, but the good thing about this is there's really not a lot of bugs. There's some, but not a huge number so far. And this is about a mile in the shade of the trees like this. It's pretty cool. And the sunlight, direct sunlight, is really hot. And it's only 8 a.m. For people that care about internet service, this is the only place where I have signal with Verizon. So sometimes it's nice to take a break and look up something that you thought of while hiking or something, and having internet can be really nice. So this is one place where there actually is a signal on this hike. This is the overlook with the internet signal. It's pretty hilly. This hike is rated as hard, probably because it's so hilly, but nothing terrible. Kind of rule of thumb is if you have not hiked before, or if you consider yourself in poor physical fitness, then anything above 700 feet or 800 feet of vertical elevation
within a few miles you're going to find challenging. This has 1600, which is moderately challenging for me. I have just casual day hikes. You can go up maybe up to 6,000 feet of vertical elevation, but you are going to be tired. Good news is when you do that, it's easy on the way down. But yeah, so this is probably rated as hard for that. So you got to be in a reasonable amount of physical fitness, because there is a lot of up and down here. But if you take it slow, it's no big deal. So this hike was mentioned in comments as one of the most scenic in Michigan. Unfortunately, it's not very scenic compared to what's in Wyoming and Montana and northwestern United States, Seattle, Mount Rainier. There's so much more over there. So not very scenic, lots of up and downs. This is a hike I would recommend for people who want a moderate early morning workout before they head home. So I'm still gonna be stopping and taking my breaks and stuff, but places like this, I usually take it as a workout with nice scenery. I try to go hard up every hill, and I would definitely rate this as a 5-star workout hike and probably 2 stars for scenery. Minnesota and Michigan are definitely not a scenic hiking places for the most part, other than the lake trails. Those are very scenic. So there are lots and lots of hills like this. I'm just going to record the length of this hill. So I'm going at a moderate pace. It's relatively steep, to be honest. Let's see how long it takes. So this is one of the relatively longer ones. Still going, but I'm gonna stop here. It is exhausting. It's a long hill, and you have to go down it, or down this one, and up the other one that was downhill on the way back. We started on the other side of that lake. So that's one peak, and this is the other. Definitely recommend coming here and doing this early in the morning. There is no way rain gear would be of any benefit here. Even probably if it's raining, you would want to take it off because you'd be so hot. But this is a good workout. Definitely a workout hike. So this is the other peak, and I'm not going to go much further from this. Yeah, this part is pretty scenic.
Okay, so this is where I am right now. The hill that I just did was this, which is mild in comparison to coming back from here, from the road. So I'm not gonna go to the road, I'm just gonna go to Cuyahoga Peak. So I still have this, and that's where I'm gonna turn around. So I have to go all these hills all over again, and then I'm gonna go down here, down this trail around the lake, and just kind of find a place to relax around here somewhere, probably right there in the middle. So this app is very helpful in planning out what you're gonna do. So I like this Garmin watch, not only because it gives me maps and stuff, but for working out as well. So it tells me my heart rate, how fast I'm going. I actually felt I was going faster than that. I didn't turn it on right away because I forgot. I'm probably about 2 miles in, and I turned it on 45 minutes ago, but I've been probably at it for more than an hour. So it's not fast going, but it's definitely a nice workout with beautiful scenery.
Oh, and another question that frequently comes up is people's fear of heights. If you're afraid of heights, this little ledge, I'm afraid of heights. I was much more afraid of heights than I am now, but this ledge would rate it as comfortable. So if you're afraid of heights, it's okay. It's not that bad. You can definitely attempt this hike. The only hikes I've turned around because of my fear of heights were in Arizona, because that was like a straight cliff drop off on a slanted bare rock. I was not comfortable. But here, definitely fear of heights is not an issue. I usually make videos about religion, so I figured this is as good a place as any to say a few words about what religion is. the stuff that we've been passed down as children, the stuff we've been indoctrinated into, it doesn't matter what religion you are, has been corrupted and polluted by traditions and decisions of tyrants over time, that it completely does not resemble anything the prophets actually brought. So that's the first thing people need to know about religion. And the only way you come to that conclusion is if you sincerely not only study what you believe to be scripture, but you also study the historical context in which that scripture has been developed. For example, what we consider Bible has many different versions. Catholic and Protestant Bibles are not the same. Why are they not the same? Because there was a disagreement. There are Bibles in this world that contain the book of Enoch, like for example in Ethiopia. So that's not the same. So the development of biblical canon is as important as reading the Bible itself. And in it there are truths, but also in it is just writings of a prevailing priest, like for example Paul. If you consider the whole story of Paul is of relaxing the commandments of God in order to get more followers. He was great at that. But that's not what God wants. God doesn't want more followers. God wants people that actually follow. So, but because he got the most followers, they got to determine Christianity for the next generation, and then the next generation. And even just like in Islam and what we call hadith, which is validated through a chain of narrators called hadith, Christians had the same thing called satina in Latin. It also means chain of narrators. So the religion is always set up in such a way. So what we inherited through time is just some prevailing faction. For example, even in Islam right now. So what's the predominant faction in Islam right now is Sunni Islam. So what does actually Sunni mean? What it did when this term originated, what was it that distinguished them? So first of all, they were not the predominant denomination or majority of Muslims in the world until after, I believe, year 835 or something, when Emperor Mutawallik, I believe was his name, switched over to their side, and they prevailed against a sect called Mu'tazila, who actually hunted them, imprisoned, and killed them for blasphemy. So their doctrine was considered blasphemy at one point. So what is now prevailing, the train of thought or religion, the correct religion, was considered blasphemy at the early point of Islam. So what makes this a blasphemy to those early Muslims is their reliance on what's called isnad, or chain of narrators, to validate these stories that they say Prophet Muhammad said, which in the lingo of the early Christians would be called satina, because that's exactly what they did as well. So that's what we inherited. What prophets brought is very, very simple, man. The reality of God is truth, and we will be judged. Look at this. Somebody created all of this. All of it. The sky, the sun, these rivers, these creatures. We are made of nanobots. Made mostly of water and carbon. That's what we are. And these nanobots we call cells control most of our life, control all of our bodily functions. Autonomic nervous system, a system you have no input into. It's automatic. How fast your heart beats, how fast, all of it automatic. It's not a manual. Imagine if we were driving a manual and we had to think to breathe. How do you sleep? Or we had to think for our heartbeat to beat faster or slower. How do you do that? It's automatic. And we're made of nanobots, made of dirt and water. Living on a planet hurling through space at amazing rate of speed, and we don't even feel it. Surrounded by several layers of protection: ozone, magnetosphere, ionosphere, all the other spheres that I can't remember. Protected from a nuclear generator that also happens to give us life, because as soon as you remove the nuclear generator light, as soon as you get away from the fire even a little bit, even for the spin or the tilt of the earth, you start to freeze immediately. The temperatures start to drop. That's our reality, and we deny God, who only wants us to do what we all want done to us, basically. And that's what Prophet Jesus says: do unto the others as you would do them unto you, because this summarizes everything the prophets taught. But because our hearts are dirty, because we're hypocrites, we are always constantly excusing ourselves and condemning others and blaming others, never accepting responsibility for our own evil. So we poison the world because we are the poison, and then we seek to be looking for a cure. It is our own evil and our own decisions that make the world an evil place, and God will requite those people quite justly. And on us is to decide which people we are. We can call ourselves whatever we want, but unless we are truly Muslims, we will be regretful of what afterlife brings. Death is a mercy. Death is an escape from pain. I watch death every day. And for some people, when they die, I'm happy for them because they were suffering. I always feel sad for the families, but for the dead, their fight is over and their destiny just begins. You don't want an eternity of pain. Just burn yourself a little bit. Even if you were burning a little bit, and you can feel it always, you would wish for death, something you are afraid of now. That would be your only desire. Not a lot is asked from us, but to be just and to do unto others as we do unto ourselves, or wish unto ourselves. So that is what religion is. That's what it is. Not belonging to a club. It's not a gang. It's not a club. It's not a military. And it's been treated as all of those throughout history. And I think that's what people need to understand. It's the word Muslim means submitter to God, and that means somebody that's committed to observing what God commanded, or at least to sincerely try. This is like my best effort. And we will be helped if we do that. God himself will help us. But if we don't, if there is no effort, then we're going to claim to be in a religion, and all that's going to happen is we're just going to die belonging to a sect. That's it. Which at one point may or may not have been the correct set anyway. So that's it. So this is toward the end of the hike, and this forest has tons of these mosquitoes, whatever the hell they are. Only this one part toward the end. Still recommend bug spray. Here's another decent sized hill. And I've been going uphill for quite a while, to be honest. Here toward the end, there's a lot of uphills. Going both ways. So I'm gonna go down this one But I went down another one, and I'm gonna have to go back up all the downhills that I found, and there was a lot of them. So this is definitely a good workout hike, 100%. And you should not attempt this hike unless you have a reasonable degree of physical fitness.
So I'm here at the peak. I'm not gonna go down any further because all there is downhill. Oh, actually a big, like if you can see this big red line in the middle, down here, where the crosshairs are, at the bottom of the screen. That's when the descents start, and then you have to go down that huge ascent. And there's nothing down there other than a road, so there's no point. I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna go down to these trails. Another thing is my gear review, same pants as yesterday. This time I opened them up because it's really hot. Rain gear here would not be good unless it's super cold. This works really good. You still have some protection from the bugs, but your pants are vented because the rain resistant or the water resistant material can get really hot the hotter you get. My boots got damaged, but they're still good. Still water resistant. I had them for a couple of years. They're just boots by Bates. Still have a long sleeve shirt. I'm sweating a little bit more, but to me, the bugs, the protection from the bugs. So a very lightweight long sleeve shirt that can resist bugs is recommended for this hike. I'm not wearing a hat to be cool. I'm wearing it because it helps with the spider webs. It helps with the insects. I definitely recommend a hat because like protects the back of your neck, and it's really just for the insects. So that's it. So this is the trail down to the lake. It's a pretty big hill followed by a bunch of stairs. I'm gonna start going back up. If you want to fish here, you can. You can get to the lake here, but it's super muddy.
So this is where you cross the lake. There's actually a cool bridge here. So this is the view from this observation point. It's really nice. Except there's one bug that keeps bothering me. Okay, I'm back at the parking lot. There's still not a lot of cars, so I don't think parking's ever an issue here. Unless maybe on holidays. Took me about 4 hours, probably 4.5. I went real slow. I chilled. I got 6 miles, but I didn't start my watch till about mile 2, so it's about 8 miles. It's about 1,300 feet. Elevation change, so that would be considered probably moderate. Sights are nice, but the intensity of the hike is better. Together it's a great workout. So that's it.